Hello, my name is John Palmer Ray with Vanderbilt University's Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Excited to share a little bit about highly selective admissions with you to help you as you're going throughout your college search process. So first, as we start, let's talk a little bit about terminology. You may have heard the phrase selective or highly selective admissions, but what exactly does that actually mean? Here on the screen, you'll see some of that information. These are some general guidelines to help you, though please know that different publications, different institutions may use these phrases in various different definitions. For our purposes today, we can define selective admissions as universities with a selectivity rate at or below 50%. For our purposes today, we can define highly selective admissions as institutions with a selectivity rate below 20%. Though please know that some of those rates may be in the single digits as low as 5%. Within the context of highly selective admissions, you will hear a lot about rankings and quote unquote highly ranked schools. Know that those rankings are determined based on a variety of different factors. You'll also find different types of rankings out there. It's certainly more than just quote unquote top ranked institutions, but schools are ranked based on quality of life, campus food as well. So know that there are many different types of rankings. There are different bodies that will have those rankings as well. That could be US News and World Reports, Princeton Review, many different places out there that will use rankings in some ways. Now, with that being said, please know rankings certainly are not everything. There are many fantastic institutions out there that you may not see at the very top of the rankings list. Use those rankings maybe as a guideline to help you throughout your process, but that is certainly not the end all be all in any way whatsoever. So, how does admissions work within highly selective colleges and universities? Highly selective institutions will use a method called holistic review, which we'll talk a little bit more in just a second. Holistic review takes a look at absolutely everything within your application file before making a final admissions decision. This means since your application is looked at so intently, and I don't say that to sound scary whatsoever, it's really just so we can have a great understanding of who you are as a person. But because of that, your application is going to be reviewed by many different people, various different individuals within the admissions office, and perhaps taken through some committees that are staffed by those admissions offices as well. Before we go through the specifics of holistic review, what are some benefits of attending a highly selective institution? You'll see some of those listed here on the screen. Certainly, there's a lot of national and international reputation that will come with an institution within the highly selectives. Certainly at Vanderbilt, we will attract students from all over the country and all over the globe. And we have alumni all over the globe as well. Many people, when they see that V, they know the type of student or the type of job candidate that they're getting as a product of the Vanderbilt experience. You get small class sizes as well, taught by some of the leading faculty members within their areas. We have many faculty members here at Vanderbilt that are leading scholars that have written the books you very literally used at institutions all across the country that you'll hear on the news as well. You have access to top level research, to study abroad opportunities, to internship opportunities. Here at Vanderbilt, one of our more famous research options that we've had recently is when Dolly Parton donated $1 million towards the COVID vaccine, right, with Moderna. That money actually went through Vanderbilt University and through our medical center. So that's a great example of kind of large scale, fantastic world changing research that has occurred here, again, using us as an example of a highly selective institution. Many highly selectives also believe in the idea of a residential experience. At Vanderbilt, we are a fully residential institution, so you live on campus all 4 years. And there's generally this idea that for you to learn with one another is for you to live with one another. There's also a lot of financial aid available as well, a little bit of a myth buster for you there. So what is a holistic review? As I mentioned earlier, it's taking a look at absolutely everything within your application file. You'll see some of those different bullet points listed up here on the screen. Academic achievement, so looking at how you performed within high school, but importantly, important note here, looking at that within the context of the curriculum available at your high school as well. So know that we are not looking at your transcript and comparing it to a student on the other side of the county or country or world. It's really looking at your application and your transcript within the context of your high school. Many schools are test optional, but if you choose to send those test scores over to us, we will certainly use that as a part of the application process. We also care a lot about your extracurriculars, about your leadership, about your involvement. Many of our institutions are not just thinking about how you would fit into our campus as far as sitting in classes, engaging with faculty members, engaging in class discussions, but we are also thinking about how you would engage within our overall campus community. What would it look like for you to live on campus? What types of different extracurricular opportunities would you be involved in on campus as well? All of those things you share within your list of activities gives us a better idea of how you would be a member of our overall campus community. So please be sure to highlight various ways you've been involved, whether that's in your school or out of your school, in your faith community, in your town, and be sure to highlight any leadership opportunities you've taken advantage of as well. Many of us will ask for multiple letters of recommendation at Vanderbilt. We need one, two from teachers at your high school. You'll find different recommendation kind of methods, if you will, at various different highly selective institutions. And also your essay, your personal statement. That's how we get a better idea of who you are as an individual. And we always love to be able to read your writing and see that from your vantage point specifically. I'll finally wrap with highly selectives. A common misconception is that we may not be financially feasible for you and for your family. Actually, many highly selectives have some of the best financial aid packages within the country. Here on the screen, you'll see some information about it. Vanderbilt, our process called Opportunity Vanderbilt, where we meet 100% of demonstrated financial need for US citizens and eligible non-citizens, including DACA and undocumented students. And all of that financial aid does not include loans whatsoever. So as you are researching highly selected institutions, if you're looking at that number, kind of that sticker price, if you will, I encourage you to dig a little bit deeper. There are net price calculators that you can find on every college campus's website. Take a look at that net price calculator. Don't rule a school out until you do that net price calculator. You may be surprised what's available for you out there. I hope that gives you a good little snippet into the world of highly selective admissions. If you ever have any questions about it, please feel free to let me know. And thanks for listening.